Yo, hey guys, GM, and welcome to a very special AMA that we have today with, of course, Coins.ph and YGG Filipinas. So, for everyone at home, if you've come from the YGG community or from the Coins.ph fam, or maybe you're new to the crew. Maybe you came from our Pixel Super Quests or from the Guild Advancement Program, or if it's your first time hearing about the partnership of Coins.ph and YGG. First of all, welcome. And we are in for a treat today because we have both of the head honchos of both YGG and Coins.ph with us tonight. But before we get started, for those who might be hearing about Coins.ph for the first time, guys, Coins.ph is the Philippines' leading digital assets and crypto platform, trusted by 18 million users with 70 plus tokens and 11 networks supported. So through community engagement, rewards, promos, and airdrops, and a range of crypto and Web3 products and services, Coins.ph continues to enable growth of the crypto community in the Philippines. So why are we doing this tonight? So that's the question. So before we get started, I'd like to ask everyone at home, if you're watching from Twitch, from Twitter, from YouTube, from Facebook, make sure to share and hit that like button. Send us some comments because later at the end of the AMA, we are going to be getting to those questions that you have for our guests. So what we are going to be doing tonight is we are going to be learning more about the YGG and Coins.ph partnership, about our recent Ronin network migration of the token, airdrops, and activations for YGG token holders, and also all those guys who are trading on Coins. All right. So I'm pretty excited, and we are going to be learning a lot more what we can expect from Coins.ph in the future. So roll the video. And of course, representing Coins.ph, he is the current CEO. It's Wei Zhou, and he has guided the exchange and the digital wallet provider to be the trailblazer in adopting Web3 and cryptocurrency in the Philippines. He is also leading Coins' expansion globally and is ramping up its operations in Thailand and has its sights set on expanding to Australia, Europe, Latin America, and Africa this year. Wei, how are you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me here. Really glad to be sharing this evening, my time here with all of you. And then also share the stage with the pioneer here in Gabby. And then also to sort of, I would say, bring Philippines, front stage and center in the world of Web3.
Of course, I mean, all eyes are on Southeast Asia and all eyes are on the Philippines. So I think that's a consensus right now. Everyone's watching. And Wei, thank you so much for your time. And as you mentioned, we have on the other line, of course, co-founder of YGG. He is a game industry veteran with over 20 years of experience. Co-founded YGG, a Web3 gaming guild protocol that enables players and gaming guilds to find their community, discover games, and level up together. So its mission is to become the leading community-based user acquisition platform in Web3. And as a strong advocate of the Web3 gaming ecosystem, Gabby is also a founding board member of the Blockchain Game Alliance, or BGA, and also a founding member of the Web3 Gaming Collective, or W3GC, and of course, an active angel investor as well. So Gabby's mission is to help people from around the world find opportunities in Web3 as how when he started YGG. Gabby, good to see you again. How are you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks, Adano. And it's really nice to hang out with Wei here and tell you more about our recent partnership.
Yeah, so guys, I'm pretty sure that you get these kinds of AMAs pretty often, but tonight it's very special because this is the first time that we have both, both the leaders of YGG and Coins.ph and one AMA, and at the same time with the recent activity of YGG, our participation in GDC, Super Quests, Gap. So we've had an influx of even the airdrop, right? So we've had an influx of players, and we are actually going to be bringing Coins.ph and YGG on tour all around the Philippines to even grow that player base even more. So we do have a lot of new players, and might even be their first time, having their YGG tokens from the airdrop, and also be their first time using an on and off ramp or a digital wallet like Coins.ph. So that's why this is important. But before we get to the meat of the discussion, so for those who are meeting you for the first time, maybe we could start with Wei. We'd love to know more about how you started Coins.ph, and how was that? How's it beginning, man? It's pretty intense. My first crypto was Ethereum on Coins.ph, lining up in 7-Eleven. That's how I got my first E.
Yeah, Coins has got a pretty long history in the Philippines. It was the first, it was launched in, I think, 16, 17 as like the Coinbase of the Philippines. But what people didn't know is that it actually was predates Gcash and Paymaya as like the first like traditional wallet as well. But I think sort of over the last, me personally, I came into Coins as a CEO in 2022 after sort of I made the acquisition. And then sort of since then, we've actually pivoted Coins into a much more crypto native business. We basically have restructured a lot of our, product offerings from sort of, away from a lot of the traditional fiat services to actually much more crypto native. We hope to expand. Right now, I think we support close to 20 blockchains and have listed almost around 80 tokens directly tradable against pesos directly. We've launched the Coins Pro exchange. It's all sort of native, tradable, and usable in our app. And we hope to bring, to be able to bring payments, sort of crypto and enabled payments, I think, to a lot more users. Right now, I can basically, sell my crypto in the Philippines with the Coins.ph app. Pretty straightforward from a use case perspective. And we're pretty much plugged in, I think, to all the major banks' wallets in the Philippines for pretty easy cash in and cash out.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta give props to you guys over at Coins.ph, because I remember, my first few cryptocurrency tokens, I was able to use them. I was able to use them to buy load. I was able to use them, to pay bills. And yeah, it was pretty early at that time, and no one was really doing it. But I mean, my question maybe Wei would be that, how did it look like as a market opportunity to get into? Because not everyone knew about crypto in the Philippines. Like that was sort of a risk, right?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, I came at it different because I'm not the founder of the business. I think the original founder actually sold the business to an Indonesian conglomerate ride-hailing company in 2018. And then as the Indonesian, as Gojek, sort of the original owner, exited the market, I basically saw an opportunity. Previous lifetime before Coins, I was actually the CFO at Binance and actually ran a lot of the M&A and sort of growth for them. So I kind of saw Philippines as a really interesting opportunity, not just, I think, for crypto, but actually I think for Web3 usage and adoption. Given that Coins actually has most of the license that you need to operate, it has a vast license for crypto trading, and it has actually an e-money license for just sort of day-to-day sort of usage as a fiat wallet, and this amount of like use case in terms of, and I think what's really cool is that people are actually using Coins for remittance, which is actually probably the other big use case for crypto in terms of global payments, because given that we have about 10 million that work right in different countries around the world, and they do send money home, like 30-40 billion dollars. I think that market is actually bigger than the current gaming market that we see. But for me, it just sort of was a really cool opportunity from a growth perspective. For me, and at the same time, I also sort of had my sights set on sort of a global play as well, given that sort of if we can build up our market share in the Philippines and actually build out a lot more, we can actually take that model and then replicate that in other markets in the world that has sort of similar demographics, similar sort of regulatory setup, and similar sort of use cases as the Philippines, with the goal of to be not just to be one of the few Filipino-based companies to go global.
Yeah, and like talking about gaming, right? When gaming came, Coins.ph was ready. Like all the features were there. It was just a matter of the gamers actually porting over. Maybe we didn't have SLP right away, bought maybe XRP or other tokens of preference, but the tools were there. Like whatever they needed to use it for, it was there, and it has been built like already for like 3 or 4 years. So maybe going to Gabby here. So like how is that that initial growth for YGG now that they have the tokens, they've been playing Axie Infinity, they have some SLP, now they need to they need to use it in the real world. So how did that all come together?
Yeah, so we launched our token in 2021. Coins is actually one of the first exchanges to support our token, both on Ethereum, Polygon, and little known now, but it was used more then in BSC as well. And we've had our questing programs going on for the last 2 years, where people can earn YGG tokens from the Guild Advancement Program, for example. And of course, now when these people, our players, our community, want to be able to take their YGG tokens to an exchange, Coins is like one of our trusted partners in the Philippines that's licensed, that where they can safely store their tokens. They can sell to ETH, Bitcoin, fiat, cash out if they want. So that's always been important for us. And now with the recent listing on the Ronin, we saw an opportunity for us to kind of, I would say, renew the partnership and maybe promote it together. Because one of the biggest pain points that our community had was that our YGG tokens were on Polygon, but they wanted the YGG tokens on Ronin. And if you wanted to do it via the bridge, you would have to bridge from Polygon to Ethereum and then bridge from Ethereum to Ronin, which would be very expensive. So it would cost a lot of money. It would probably cost over $50 to do that in ETH gas, right? So this is an opportunity where we saw coins could come in, so that coming from Polygon, for example, players or community could deposit their YGG from Polygon to Coins, which would not cost a lot of money. They can hold it there, or they could also withdraw from Coins to the Ronin network, to their Ronin wallet. So this is why this is a very important partnership for us. We feel like this is something that is actually really useful for our community, and many of which are already using Coins.
Yeah, for sure. And I even think, right, Gabby, like just being able to move your YGG tokens directly to Coins will, it's definitely a lot cheaper than having to go through, bridging, and then, maybe even like going through another exchange or whatnot if you wanted to trade it. But all of this, you could do this on directly on Coins. But then on your end, Wei, right? So now we have this this relive partnership now with the YGG and Coins.ph, and you guys are joining us and the YGG road trip. What does it look like on your end for getting the word out and just putting together a stronger partnership more than ever?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to us working together to support a larger GameFi ecosystem. And what we've seen right now is, I think for me, the last 2 years, from 2022 when I took over Coins to today, is I actually see especially I think a lot of it I think speaks to sort of a lot of the partners that YGG and Coins have had, which is actually the Sky Mavis team. I think they've actually have done a tremendous job over the last couple of years to build out their Ronin network. And then actually bring more and more gaming partners. And I think what that has telling us is that, we've already have this, because I think to move your token to a blockchain, in Gabby's case for YGG, and in our case, in terms of actually adding support for a blockchain and then adding continuing support for that blockchain, takes a lot of resources, right? And then for us to make that investment in these resources, we have to see, like the partners, the blockchain builders, the L1s and L2s, they have to sort of ante up, right? They have to show that, they are committed to this market. And we've seen that in this case in the Ronin team, in the Sky Mavis team. And so for us is, actually, let's work together to build up the Ronin ecosystem, because we do see them, coming back into the market to be much more active and to bring actually many more top quality games. And it makes a lot of sense in YGG's case, to commit to sort of, to move more of their resources to Ronin as well. And then for us, then, we're okay with sort of spending a lot more resources in this direction, given that we know that, hey, the gamers, we're going to make it a lot easier for more users to come in to all of our ecosystems together.
And wait, does it also apply, let's say, to other games? Because you guys, you do support, a lot of tokens, and the
Mhm.
turnover time from, let's say, when a game token or another token is announced and you get it on your platform, it's pretty fast. Like YGG's migration, or when we went to
Yeah.
Ronin, you had it up in 24 hours. So how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think this is what you see, right? What you don't see is actually a lot of the work that we've done behind the scenes, like getting the market makers lined up, getting the token bridge lined up, to make sure that there's inventory for deposit and withdrawal on our platform. So we actually do have to work with the projects, in this case YGG, to get a lot of that logistical stuff set up. From a supporting a blockchain perspective, I think that's a lot harder, right? We basically have to sometimes run the nodes ourselves. And I think what I can say is that from YGG's case, we've been supporting them on different networks, and we've had some trading interest, but definitely the interest in trading on our platform since we've migrated to Ronin has been much higher.
And let's talk a bit about for those guys, let's say, who, as you said, are trading the tokens. Maybe they're not
Mhm.
YGG gamers, or maybe it's their first few months in Web3 and crypto. What's that experience like? So let's say I have my pesos, I have my fiat. Then what do I do with it? How does that
Yeah,
work?
yeah. I mean, I think right now, it's actually, I mean, like I'll be honest right now. Like I think right now there's a lot of interest out there. I think for the general large cap tokens, right? These are, I would say, generally long term investors, right? And then these are basically like the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solanas of the world. And at the same time, the you not just, I think, coins users, but I think crypto traders around the world have seen a lot of interest. I think in two segments. I think one is definitely GameFi, and the other one recently has been more meme coins. But I do think that once you sort of start going into the fundamentals, I think the speculation will always be there for crypto. But I think in the long run, investors, holders are going to be looking at the fundamentals of a business, of a community, right? And I think in this situation where YGG, I think, has a lot of the attention span, especially with Filipino users, has been their ability, I think, to build a community, right? And I think, and that a lot of that goes to sort of not just Gabby, but like his entire team of actually being present in the market over the last 2 years. People see that, right? Like people see like who's been around and who hasn't been around, or like who's
Absolutely.
like, right?
Yeah.
People see like who shows up, who doesn't show up, right? Like who's in the community, and I think that matters a lot, right? That means that, hey, like if shit hits the fan, you're not going to leave us. We're going to get and support you, right? And I think that's sort of the most important thing that, at least that I'm seeing today, right? If you're a newcomer, it's going to take a while for you to prove yourself as well. So, and I do think that, I think that's why you sort of see a lot of the OG tokens coming back in this market.
Yeah, and I think Gabby, like, you would agree that it's. I mean, as Wei said, right? It's one thing that you know there are people who trade the tokens because of speculation, but in our case, in YGG's case, like, our community, like, they earn the tokens from doing these different quests among our partnered games, and that's what contributes to the trading activity, right? It's either they
Yeah.
want to maybe buy an NFT in a different game and they need another token and all of that. So I mean, how do you look at that, Gabby, in terms of when the programs or the products of YGG, in terms of, let's say, Web3 reputation, or our on-chain reputation, our quests, our super quests? How does that look like in general?
Sure. So we've been doing the questing programs for around 2 years now. And even from the original season of the Guild Advancement Program, you could do quests in different games. We started with Axie, then we moved with Pixels, and then there's a lot more games coming in the next season to build people's reputation. So we give out Soulbound token achievements. So, and then apart from the SBTs for reputation, we give out YGG tokens. And what we've seen is that our community members use the YGG tokens to actually reinvest in themselves uh, and their ability to participate in Web3. So we've seen a lot of people who are, for example, upgrading their computers, getting better internet at home, getting new phones so that they can participate in these programs better. And last January, with our last Axie Super Quest, now people could pay some YGG, which gets burned, to get access to high-level quests that teaches them how to get better at the game and possibly earn more, right? Our last super quest with Pixels was a free one because we were teaching people how to get into guilds. But you can expect that there will be paid quests or premium quests that will give you knowledge or the ability to earn more rewards in the games that you're playing. If we're teaching you the basics, the quest is probably going to be free. But for example, if we can get someone like our champion Spam and Rise to teach you more about how to play competitive Axie, or Sequinox to teach you how to play high level parallel so that you can actually earn more, some of those will be gated under YGG payments.
Yeah, and yeah, I do agree. Right, it's this huge gaming ecosystem that's alive within the YGG network, because the tokens are going around, it's being used, it's being traded. But also, even for us, right? We do also give rewards and grants. Let's say, for example, for helping out, for creating content, for being a volunteer in Discord. It's also some sort of, yeah. It's it's our compensation as well for those who are helping out the YGG community. And as you said, Gabby, like these guys are buying new computers, upgrading their internet, buying new phones, and all of the traffic now is also being done through Coins.ph. I mean, of course, a lot of us know that with the ban of Binance, now people are looking at let's say, what will Coins.ph do? Like, what will the tokens of YGG, or where will those go? So maybe throwing this back to you, Wei, how what are the features, or what are the main features that Coins.ph just makes it easier for everyone, especially for first timers in Web3 and crypto?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think what's really good about Coins, I think, especially for you, like once you download it, you can actually cash in directly from your Gcash account, or from your Union Bank account, or from any other bank that you have, and then actually start trading, right? And the second thing is that if you're ready to cash out of any earnings that you've made, you can actually move that. You can actually spend it directly out of Coins. You can spend it to buy anything that has like QRPH available, I think, in the Philippines. And I think it's the ease of use that's actually makes it really important. I think the second thing, less so I think to sort of the day-to-day power, less so to the power users, is actually products and choice. I think right now, if you look at Binance, we won't be able to compete with them on selection of products, just given that there's actually regulatory hurdles in terms of what we can and cannot offer today. We're looking to change that. Like, for example, we're looking to add margin products later this year once we get sort of the permission from the SEC. But under the circumstances, we do have the widest selection of tokens that's available for anyone users. And then a lot of the core team members who actually left, we actually came out of Binance, including myself and some of our product team, to bring sort of the best best in class trading experience. Whether whether you trade via API, or if you trade if you want to look at charts, we can have those. We will have those kind of tools available for the more sophisticated traders. And at the same time, I think we actually offer most of the blockchains. We actually do support most of the major ones. We hope to support more, but that'll come down to, I think, just the demand. Right, I think we're the first one in the Philippines to support Solana fully right now. We've actually been pretty active in listing some of the more popular Solana tokens as well. For Ronin, we're definitely building a deeper. We're basically wanting to build a bigger ecosystem with them. We're the first one in the Philippines to list Pixels. When that listing happened, I think 2 months ago, and we hope to support more of those game tokens directly.
Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty, it's a popular question among our gamers in YGG. So they're asking, like, well, will Coins.ph, or do you guys have, some sort of staking feature, or was it something that we will be seeing in the future?
Yeah, I think centralized staking is like this is the tricky part. Centralized staking running by an exchange is going to be a regulated activity. We sort of clear that up. And then we will need permission to do that. We hope to be able to say this. Like I said, we hope to be able to set up a sandbox by the end of this year. My original plan was end of last year. Like, the product itself is ready. We just need permission. We need permission from our regulator to allow it. I think decentralized staking, that's up to our users. But centralized staking via offered through us is something that we're still trying to get clarity from the regulators on.
All right, so yeah, there you have it. And we also have another question here from the community. Ertz is asking, what is your take on YGG and what changes it could bring to Web3 gaming in general. Maybe even more specific, right? Like our shift to being a guild protocol. What does that mean for Web3 gaming?
Are you asking me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of changes this year. We were continuing the questing programs. You've heard about the shift to Web3 gaming protocol. And I think the biggest change in messaging is that don't think of YGG itself as a guild. Think of us as a platform to be able to scale all guilds around the world, right? Of course, the majority of our guilds are in the Philippines. And that's always been the same since 2020, 2021. But even then, YGG itself, you think about what we're doing, we weren't really operating as a guild itself. It was the guilds like Axio, Sando, NFTX Street, Synergy. These were actually the guilds that we were working with to help and scale, right? And so now we're building a lot more, I would say, platforms to be able to help these all of your guilds scale further, and that's really what we're focused on, and that's why we're shifting the narrative just a little bit this year, talking about YGG itself as a guild protocol.
Very well said, Gabby. And yeah, for those who who are, if it's your first time joining YGG, if you're coming from the Coins.ph family or the Coins.ph community, so we are having our road trip. It is going to be a tour of the Philippines where we will be bringing YGG games to your cities and together with Coins.ph as well. So Wei, I've been active in your events at the Coins.ph office. Maybe I'm there. I'm almost there almost once a week. So shout outs to Kat as well. But yeah, you guys have been focusing on community building, right? And I'm pretty sure Gabby would agree that Web3 communities are essential in any project that's alive right now, because it will be the foundational, core group of people who will be using the platform and also who will be telling their friends about it and how it works. So what is the context there of you guys, just making Coins.ph a hub for growth, for other startups, just opening your doors to everyone else and bringing the communities in?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, I'll take this until I'll raise the level a little bit and sort of talk about what I think coins could become. I think we could become like the NASDAQ for the Philippines, right? Because I think what I see right now, having been living there and working there for the last 2.5 years, is that the amount of energy that the youth has for technology and for new stuff is actually quite exciting. But the infrastructure, like just the amount of bureaucracy that I have to deal with running a regulated business in the Philippines is like it's like a volcano waiting for eruption, dude. Because I think there's a lot of I would say that kind of exist within the country right now, and I think it is actually stifling a lot of the innovation that is happening at the grassroots level, right? And what you're seeing, crypto is doing is actually for our people, for our kids, for our next generation to work on something that is actually truly sort of flat and global, right? Like, and like when you have a Web3 wallet, it doesn't matter what, don't care what your ethnicity is, they don't care what your nationality is, they just care that whether you do the work or not, right? So just sort of like when and I think that's actually truly revolutionary. Like that the world hasn't seen an asset class like this before. Right, the world has had technology before, but the world, we haven't had like a technology that connects everybody at the same time, and then you can actually do stuff and then make money at the same time together, right, as a community. And I think that's what's really cool about guilds, is that it actually brings a community together and helps you make money, right? And that's what's really cool about that's what we wallet to do that. We hope Coins to be the wallet help you to do that. Right, we're going to offer you, the biggest selections, and we can actually help you to, spend that and manage that money down the road, right? But at least today, I think with regards to sort of the Philippines, we want to be able to list more sort of homegrown projects and companies, right? Maybe today, it's basically just a utility token, but maybe tomorrow, once we get all of our ducks lined up in a row from a regulatory perspective, we can sort of list up more startups, right? And that would attract, because just I'm sort of talking up Coins.ph. I meet a lot of like, Pinoys like around different parts of the world. I'm not Filipino myself, right? But they've completely adopted me because I run a business in the Philippines, right? So just sort of like, and I was like, yo, you guys, can support us, by supporting, supporting this community globally, right? And I think that's something that I'm really excited about. And that's why I think for on the ground is like, let's just engage more, see what we can build together, right?
Yeah, I think you touched on a bit on my next question, right? It's what is the ideal relationship between gaming guilds and Coins.ph? But in this case, it's not only gaming guilds, right? It's those earlier projects that you're supporting, you're opening your doors to, and maybe in 3 and 5 and 10 years, like when these projects are fully grown, you're looking at a very healthy and a very strong ecosystem that complements each other. And maybe going back to Gabby here is, like what do you think, right? What do you think will be what will the relationship of gaming guilds in general and Coins.ph, like those gaming guilds, maybe even the sub guilds under YGG, not just YGG, like all our sub guilds, maybe all around the Philippines, maybe even all around the world, when Coins.ph finally is released there as well. How does that relationship look like on a macro level?
Yeah, so if the way I think about our gaming guilds and guilds in general, they're like the small to medium businesses of Web3. And that's how it starts, right? It might be a few friends getting together to play some games, and then they might start being more organized. They may put up a corporation like Kuku does, for example. But as these gaming guilds grow, they're going to have more needs for scale. For example, where do I store the money? How do I transfer it to fiat and back? Like, how do I interface with the real world? So I do think this is where exchanges like Coins can play a really good partner for us, because as these businesses scale, they're going to need those kind of financial services that a growing business would. And yeah, I think it's a very strong partnership there.
And yeah, maybe Gabby, a follow-up question here is that, like what do you think, both of you guys, what do you think will be the effect of this collaboration between Coins.ph and YGG, and in terms of the growth of our community? So now vice versa, like how do you see like Coins.ph and helping the growth of YGG in general?
Well, I'll start there. Well, we're doing co-marketing together. Coins is joining us for our road trip, and I think we're bringing a lot of financial education to a lot of Filipinos from all over the country. So I think what we're doing is we're providing them access to a lot of opportunities, global opportunities, in the form of play to earn or other crypto opportunities, right? So I think it's very important for all Filipinos to know what they can actually do in crypto markets, because now you're not limited to what you can earn in your city, whether you're in Manila or Batangas or Davao or Cabanatuan. In crypto or in Web3, you have the opportunities to earn with your skill the same as anyone else from around the world, whether you're there in the US or Europe. So I think that's incredibly empowering for Pinoys, right? And I think between YGG and Coins, we're here to bring the opportunities together to all Filipinos.
100%. And yeah, you mentioned Gabby, right? Empowering our communities, our players who started with us in Axie Infinity, and all of these other new guys coming in looking for opportunities in Web3. Like it's going to be that partnership between YGG and its products like Metaversity, YGG Alerts, YGG PH, the Road Trip Conference, and Coins.ph. That will be the platform. Like just how I was also able to buy my first Ethereum, pay for my bills, back in the day. So now we're looking at, bigger family, bigger network of people, more use cases, even more projects, more games in that same community in the Philippines. So that really means a lot. Maybe I'm going to be, like trying to challenge, let's say, what we can do here together. If you look at other exchanges, let's say in the States, maybe the crypto.com arena or the FTX arena for a while. But how does it look like, right? Like if you're looking at, the highest capacity of collaborations between, education and empowerment of communities and opportunities in Web3, and also an exchange in the Philippines. What does that look like? Schools? I don't know. Like, what triggers your imagination, guys?
Yeah, there's so many things we can do now. For example, we're going to schools and teaching the opportunities that people can do in crypto, not in terms of trading, but in terms of, like, for example, if you're part of the YGG community, how can you have opportunities to earn, maybe as a moderator, as a KOL, being in esports. So I think just as many ways as we can tap Filipinos' talents into the global Web3 community and have them earn crypto. I think it's really just an incredible opportunity for everyone.
And how about a U way? Like, have you guys ever thought about, I don't know, maybe a Coins.ph esports team or a Coins.ph F1 team or what, something like that, but in the Philippines, like Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, look, when I first bought coins back in 2022, we did sponsor Miss Universe and we sponsored the PBA. But I do think like going into a bear market, that was like that didn't get that much impact, right? And then actually going to the PBA games, I saw that like Bingo Plus had a bigger audience than we did, right? So I was like, let me let's figure something out here, right? I mean, now they're a client of ours, but I do think we're a little bit early, right? I mean, I do think that we probably need a lot more use cases, and we need a lot more sort of positive stories. And in the last couple of years, there's been too many negative stories in our industry, right? I think we need more positive stories. We need more sort of more I would say sort of more heroes. I think in our industry, not just I think not just I think outside the Philippines, but actually locally as well. I think to actually give out more to give more credence, I think, to our industry. I think for us, we definitely are planning a pretty big ad campaign second half of this year. But in terms of like sponsoring things, this and that, I think we'll look into it. I'm all for throwing a good party. So
Right, so I guess we might be seeing the new and improved, or even the bigger and the better, W3GS after party, and Wei and Gabby will be right there up in front on the DJ booth. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, I mean, kidding aside. So, Gabby, like we've also been, heads down. I was with Andy actually recently here, just a while ago here in the Hong Kong Web3 Festival, and he's been talking a lot. How we've been starting to look at how the guild protocol applies, not only to our community in the Philippines, but also to all other regional and cross-cutting guild partners that we have. We even did gap quests recently with all at GG, right? And for your end, Wei, because we did touch upon the expansion of Coins.ph first in Bangkok and Australia and so on. So how does that look like in terms of the roadmap for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think we look to like right now, what we look to do is actually to build up our product offerings here in the Philippines. Like I did mention before, I want to offer staking, right? I want to offer sort of like margin trading. I think on our platform, these are for more sophisticated users. I think those are pending sort of approvals from our regulators. I think, and then obviously, we look to deeper in a couple of blockchains that we do support, like Solana and Ronin right now. And then we have pretty strong partnerships with them. And the third one is actually more on the stablecoin front. We had a pretty significant partnership with Circle last year to be in the Philippines, and then we have a pending announcement with another major stablecoin issuer should be later this month. I think these are the sort of the traditional crypto products that we hope to offer. I think outside of the Philippines, we want a graphical footprint. We have a global site that we hope to launch, in late second quarter as well. And I think through that site, I think something that I've been promising from day one since I took over Coin, maybe perhaps even a platform token within the global site. But I do think that all of these things will benefit our user in the Philippines, and then given that that's where we started.
But yeah, I mean, so Gabby, like, let's say for example, we have YGG, who's our partners in Thailand. We're actually going to be in Bangkok at the end of the month. So make sure the YGG community, our YGG friends from Thailand, make sure to drop by. But I mean, so how does that work, right? Let's say we have Coins.ph in Thailand. What does that mean for our community, Gabby? Let's say in YGG in Thailand.
Yeah, so we have our guild partners, and I think some of these guild partners that have built communities all around the world, whether it's Southeast Asia or India or Latin America. Some of them will be eventually launching their tokens as well. So I think YGG will be able to help with the visibility and distribution of our partner guilds and their tokens as they go about their plans to launch them.
Awesome. So guys, you heard it first. It's Gabby Dizon himself dropping the alpha. So watch out for our regional guild partners with their TGs and maybe Coins.ph. So we have a couple of questions from Cuckoo. For everyone at home, I'm sure you guys know him from the Play to Earn documentary. Together with the whole YGG crew, there we have Spracky and the AXU University, AXU. But yeah, his question is: so is it going to be possible to in the future? Are you going to be able to connect your Coins.ph wallet to the YGG dashboard? Is that something that you guys have already been working on?
If there's a good reason for us to do so, where people can easily, for example, cash in or out, it's we're currently busy more with the questing side, but it's something I can see happening in the future.
All right, there you have it, Cuckoo. And a follow-up question for Wei, also from Cuckoo. He's asking, so when Coins.ph rewards programs such as pay bills, buy load, trade crypto, deposit, and get crypto back rewards, is that going to be happening anytime soon?
I have this thing called a task center that we're adding, I think in May. And then once we get the task center live, I'll give my team another quarter. So I would say, May plus 3 months, August, September. I think that's my plan.
All right, there you go. So yeah, guys, we are almost at the top of the hour. So I just want to remind everyone, if you're watching on Twitter, make sure to hit that retweet. If you are watching on Facebook, make sure to share and leave a comment. And guys, don't forget, drop your questions and we will be asking those for our guests here tonight. So maybe before we move on, I want to throw a question to both of you guys. Like, I'm going to be, it's a bit of a curveball, but what do you guys think, are going to be, the main trends in this next cycle? In terms of gaming and also maybe in terms of the infrastructure, maybe for on and off ramps. And you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll jump in first. Trending wise, I think like every blockchain that's going to launch is going to try to turn itself into a meme coin chain. that's a joke, but no. But I do think that I do think that like I said before, I do think that users are gonna investors are gonna start looking at fundamentals a little bit more. But given sort of the recent sort of phenomenon in terms of just sort of like the nature of the speculation into meme coins, I actually do think that fervor is going to continue. And some of that is actually sort of like I would say sort of more regulatory driven, because memcoin in no way, at least in the US, is going to be a security token or has anything that's security. I think that's sort of like this redheaded stepchild of like regulatory enforcement in the US is sort of like, force a lot of investors to go that way. But I do see this trend sort of into continuing, I think, well into later this year. The other one that I do see from just a trending perspective, I do expect more games to launch, but not all of them are going to succeed. And I think that's the challenge, right? And then, but I think, just because I do think that it takes a long time to build a game, right? 2-3 years, 3-4 years to build something, and then for it to have, all the sort of like, token sinks, all the gameplays to be in place. So I would preach a lot of caution in terms of investing into game tokens. And then sort of the third bullish trend that I do see is actually do see a lot of excitement coming onto Bitcoin. With there's this thing called the Rune protocol that's going to launch on Bitcoin. That's going to, I think, it may even crash the Bitcoin. Like I would not be surprised if it actually crashed the Bitcoin, a network or congested network like crazy. So that will basically, given that's going to enable, I think, meme coins on Bitcoin. And I think that's going to, I think, proliferate or push a lot of users to Bitcoin L2s. So for me, so for coins right now, we currently do support BRC20. And then, and we support, I think we listed 2 tokens, ORDI and 1,000 sats. And we do look to support, more Bitcoin network and more Bitcoin activity on coins into the later this year.
Awesome. And I don't know, maybe, Gabby, like maybe are we going to be seeing maybe Bitcoin Layer 2 games anytime soon? But I mean, on your end, what are the trends, Gabby, for Web3 gaming?
Well, a lot of our game partners are launching their games, both their games and their tokens this year. An interesting trend I'm seeing is that there's opportunity for a lot of our players to be able to double, triple earn on some of these play to airdrops. So, for example, if a game is launching their token and then the people who are doing the play to airdrop campaign can earn their token, and if they're connected with YGG's questing program, they can earn YGG tokens as well. And then if the blockchain can also chip in and provide their token. So there's actually a lot of opportunities because there's a lot of different entities that are rewarding players to play games and use their networks. And I think this month, if you're pretty smart, airdrop farmer, P2A player, there's a lot of opportunities coming for you.
Yep, 100%. And we already see that happening, right? We have our players, from all over the Philippines who will be joining us in the YGG road trip, and that will be the spot where to find out more about these upcoming Web3 games. And yeah, for Coins.ph, don't forget the Hold and Earn campaign. It was announced today, and you guys will be earning 5% APY on holding YGG on your Coins.ph wallet, right? So, I mean, don't worry if your tokens are parked there, you're earning 5%. But Wei, before we let you guys go, what are your last reminders for the YGG community and the Coins.ph community who is watching tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think last, I think, like from my perspective, I think I don't want to be like a downer here. It's like do take precautions when trading. It is a very volatile and violent ecosystem, right? That's why I think the guilds are a good way to get introduced into the system, because it have to do is just invest time to be able to earn. I think that's actually the best way. Like for me, like I tell people, like I made a lot of money in crypto because I worked for a crypto company when I first joined, and I took a lot of my when I joined Binance, and that kind of worked out for me because I didn't put a lot of my own money at stake, right? So I do think that these kind of opportunities do exist in this market right now, right? If you do put up the time, whether you're on Twitter, social media, whether you're in the guilds like YGG, there's a lot of earn right now. And I think that would be my recommendation. I think that's where your ROI is like infinite.
Yep, 100%. I couldn't agree more. I remember Gabby saying once upon a time that the best way to get crypto is to earn crypto, right, Gabby? And yeah, well, what are your reminders for the
Absolutely. Yeah, for the community, we are here to give each other opportunities. So remember, be here, bring your skills, help other people. We're very strong because we were always here for each other, and always remember that coming into the current market.
Awesome, and very well said. So guys, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. It's been a blast, and yeah, it's really good to see two head honchos of two of the biggest projects, I would say, in the Philippines. I might be biased, who knows? But everyone at home, we are going to be visiting your cities. The YGG road trip is kicking off this Saturday in Batangas. So if you guys are nearby Lipa City, we are going to be at the Aquamarine Recreational Centers, and attendance is free. All you have to do is show up and visit facebook.com/YGG road trip for more details. Guys, don't forget, follow Coins.ph. That's facebook.com/Coins.ph, twitter.com/Coins.ph as well. And also we have the Coins.ph Academy on Facebook. And also don't forget, discord.com/Coins.ph. They're on TikTok and YouTube as well. So Wei, Gabby, I'm so excited to see you in the metaverse. Cheers, guys. Peace out.
Thanks,
you.
Gabby.
Thanks,
See you
everyone.
guys.